Hello, this is Lookman. This presentation is about profit sharing formula. As a brief introduction, the benefits of teamwork cannot be overemphasized. This is particularly useful in businesses, but in most cases, it demands finance. But small businesses may not have access to such. That's where the app becomes useful. Now, what's the idea? It's a profit sharing formula app. It helps the exchange of either money or effort with business equity. Now, the inputs are quantified and cumulated. This is then dynamically cumulated and prorated. And this is usually done, and the profit sharing is usually done periodically or as agreed. In simple language, if someone puts in, for example, £500 now, £1,000 maybe next month, the cumulative amount they put in is £1,000, and each time they continue contributing money, whatever it is, it keeps adding up. It keeps adding up. It's a continuous process. In the same way, if somebody is putting in effort, you quantify the effort. So, for example, if one is working, maybe he charges £10 per hour, he does 2 hours work, and then he does another 3 hours work. So the cumulated amount will be the £20 and the £30. And at the end of the sharing process, whatever the total value of all the contributions is, this is going to be prorated. And then, when you're sharing profit, it's going to be based on those cumulated values. So the profit sharing is actually done periodically as agreed. So this could be monthly, this could be quarterly, etc. And this shall be prorated as a percentage of the equity built. There is the option of recycling your share of profit. So, for example, if in a particular month you're supposed to get your share of the profit, assuming it is £20, just for example, if you decide you want to recycle it into the business and to pay it into the business, you could do so either automatically or manually. Now you shall also have a pool of freelancers. Now, the reason why you need freelancers, for example, if you're an entrepreneur, for example, maybe your line of business is content writing, you might get a pool of freelancers. You can do adverts, maybe on Facebook or maybe in the newspapers or the internet or wherever. Get people who are interested, do an interview to make sure they have the right quality and the right caliber. And then, of course, you have to explain to them that whatever work they do is going to be according to the profit sharing formula. So you need a pool of freelancers, maybe for argument's sake, 5, 6 or more freelancers in a particular area of specialty. And if you need multiple areas of specialty, you can do the same thing as well. But one of the benefits of having the freelancers is that it's cheaper for you. If you need to go to freelance organizations like Fiverr, like peopleperhour.com, like upworks.com, like what's the other one? Like freelancer.com, etc. You're going to pay a lot of money in commission and all those other things. So if you have your own pool of freelancers, it's a cheaper option. You need to do the quality checks, and they shall also indicate their hourly rates. So that's just for your records. And whenever there is work, freelancers shall bid for this. That's the freelancers, your pool of freelancers, those who are interested in a particular work stream will bid for it. And you will agree terms, and then they'll do the job, And when they do the job, whatever amount you agree on is going to be recycled as part of the equity in the business. Now, on the completion of work, their payment shall be added as equity in the business. Interested parties could invest money into the business also. So it's not just about the workers putting in the equity, other investors may also want to put in money into the business. Now, this shall help with cash flow. Quality control metrics is very important. You need to recruit the right caliber of freelancers. You need to conduct tests and interview to make sure you're getting the right set of people. You need to manage expectations. They need to know that they're not going to get cash in hand. Whatever efforts they put in terms of their skills, etc., whatever money you're supposed to pay them is going to be recycled into the business as part of equity in the business. Now you need to also score the quality of work, their reliability, time management, and then you can select or include other scoring parameters. The importance of this is that if there's a worker who is either late in delivering work, maybe and is giving excuses, etc., you can either score him, maybe your scoring metric might be 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. That way you have it on your record whether they are reliable or not reliable, so that when it comes to important work to be done, if you rely too much on them, then they can disappoint, and this might have negative impacts on the business. So whatever business you are doing, you have your scoring metrics, and then you keep that at the back in your back burner, so that whenever you are awarding work to such people, you're giving it to the right people at the right time, etc. Now, the process to be followed: you create the work streams, indicate the deliverables, and get freelancers to bid for the work. Now, when they bid for the work, you award it to whoever you think is the best person to do the job. At the end of the job, you evaluate it, you score them according to your metrics, and then when you are going to pay them, whatever you've agreed to pay them will be recycled into the business as equity. So that's how it works. And then at the agreed time, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annually, or whatever, you share the profit accordingly and under the agreed terms as well. Now, the data inputs: you have to have have the registration. You have to collect the name of the. You have to prepare a form which they probably fill at the beginning of you engaging them. You collect their name, collect maybe if you encourage them to register with PayPal or Stripe, so that if you need to pay them, you can easily pay them through that medium. And that way you can get freelancers from all over the world, so that payment is not a problem. So they need to register with their name, contact details, email, mobile number on WhatsApp especially, so that you can communicate with them. They need to have a payment gateway. Like I said, PayPal or Stripe should be good. Then the work streams, you need to have an idea of what type of work they can do, etc. You might want to record their hourly rates just for the records, so that when you're giving them work, you can have a rough idea of the time they will use in accomplishing the work. How long they're able to accomplish the work. That's going to be part of your negotiation, so that if you're giving them a work stream, part of your negotiation will be how long will you be able to execute it, and and they'll tell you what they can do. And then, of course, you need to score the deliverables, and also percentage of profit to be shared. So, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, etc., you need to decide on the percentage of profit which is going to be shared by all the stakeholders. This could be updated annually, and there shall be the option to recycle any percentage of individual profit. So, for example, maybe a freelancer or maybe an investor, maybe the share of the profit is, for argument's sake, £500, and might decide to recycle maybe one quarter of it or half of it or a particular amount of it. This should be able to be done maybe automatically or semi-automatically or maybe manually. You need to sort out legalities as well. There has to be a disclaimer as necessary so that you don't get yourself into trouble. And then other tax and other issues should also be addressed. So, for example, as part of your legal document, maybe you might say it's the responsibility of the freelancers or the other stakeholders to pay their tax as necessary. Now you need to, on the app should be able to generate reports. There shall be automatic and maybe semi-automatic reports. For example, when effort or financial credits are being made, there should be a record. There should be a report which could be generated. For example, maybe a stakeholder puts in £50 this month, £70 next month. At each point when they are making those credits, a report could be generated and sent to them as an email and kept on file as well. Also, when a worker does a piece of work, that should also be, there should be a report generated such that, the work you've given them, etc. Just keeping documentation of the whole process. That's why the reports are quite important. So it's both financial and things related to the workload so that you can manage the process more effectively. Also, the statement of accounts could be part of the report, which the stakeholders could have access to. Now, provision shall be made to add the database of reports. To add to the database of reports, this should be personalized. So that means, for example, yes, you may have a bank of automated reports, but as time goes by, there may be the need to add additional letters or additional content. So this should be able to be uploaded and used accordingly. Case study. In my case, I'm an entrepreneur. I know it's not in the dictionary, but I use the internet. I leverage the internet to make money. Now, assuming I have loads of articles to write, and in order to be more efficient, I use the services of content writers. Now, I have quite a few of them in my pool. Or might do it as a part-time or a side hustle or something like that. So I do a brief and answer whatever questions they have. They bid for the work, telling me their deliverables, what they can deliver on. I make a choice of who I want to give the job to. They deliver on my terms, and then on completion, I credit their equity into the company accordingly. That means, for example, if we agreed that they'll do it for maybe £40, maybe a piece of work or something like that, then I'll credit that £40 into the equity of the company, and then that's going to be additional equity for them into the company. And then when it's time for profit sharing, we do the profit sharing. Like I said, at the specified time of profit sharing, this is shared pro rata based on accumulated equity. Now, the process continues in such cycles, so you can do the same process over and over and over again. As you get more work, whenever there's need to outsource, you outsource to your freelancers, they do the job, and you just continue the same process over and over again. Now, the percentage of profits to be shared is usually agreed beforehand. Usually, it might be agreed annually, and then you update the system so that it does it annually. Alternatively, maybe every 2 years or as agreed by stakeholders. And then the profit to be shared, I would suggest around 50 to 60%, or as agreed. The remaining 40 to 50% will normally be used to service running costs as well as tax, etc. Now, what are the benefits of the app? It helps teamwork and collaboration. It encourages entrepreneurship. More could be achieved with little cash. It's a different way of working. It could improve the country's GDP. I think that's called um, gross domestic um, gross GDP, gross domestic product, or something like that. Yeah, it could improve the country's GDP. It could also help the economy because it helps people work and also employ people as well. It keeps people usefully occupied. It could reduce crime. I believe you remember the adage, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if they are occupied, there's a chance that crime will reduce. It could reduce unemployment because you're going to be engaging people to do work, and most of them, some will do it as a second job or as a side hustle, but hopefully it will help reduce unemployment. It creates opportunities. Those who you are employing, they gain skills, etc., and exposure. And as an entrepreneur, it helps you leverage that app to do bigger and better things. Assuming you are an entrepreneur who had loads of ideas but little or no money, there's a chance that your ideas and your thoughts will die with you. But with this is an opportunity maker, so you can leverage it, and hopefully it will create opportunities, etc. Now, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'll try my best. If I cannot answer them immediately, I'll try and find these answers to them and pass them on to you. I hope this has been a good explanation. Ireo, this is Jack Lookman of Jack Limited. Thank you very much.